Good morning, everyone. So it's a little after 6:45 right now. We're just getting ready to leave here. So today we're going to cut some brush off a bank in front of a pond. So that should be fun. Stopped raining finally. It was raining all day yesterday. Which we do need the rain. We've had a wicked dry summer, but at the same time I kind of just am sick of the rain now, because I'd rather just wait and have it in snow form. But what can you do? So we're just gonna get this cord wrapped up here, and then we'll get out of here. I really need to leave that plugged in for, I don't know, probably a full weekend or so to get it fully charged, but at least it's pretty charged for right now. It'll last us for at least today. We really should only have to dump once today. It's not a lot of brush. The only hard part is obviously it's on a pond and the house is on the pond, so I have to drag all the brush up from the back of the house and load it into the trailer. So that's gonna be fun, but shouldn't be too bad. So we do need to grab the chainsaw out of here. So we need this. I went ahead and grabbed a new chain for that. I'm not the best at sharpening chains, but it definitely needs to be sharpened. So I just went ahead and bought a new one. I don't use a chainsaw a whole lot, so whenever I need a sharp chain, I kind of just buy a new one. Works better for me. I've sharpened this one a couple times, but it's pretty bad. Switched out the chain. I got the pull saw loaded up just in case. It's always better. I don't think I'm gonna need it, but it's always better to bring everything you think you need just in case, rather than having to come back. I mean, this job's not too bad. It's only like 20 minutes away, but still, that's 40 minutes out of your day. But I got the chainsaw, the gas, 2-stroke gas. We're almost out of that, so hopefully that'll last at least till lunch, and then we can get some at lunch if we need more, but I think that'll be plenty anyways. We got oil, bar and chain oil. I think that's everything that we should need for today. We still got the pinto hitch on the truck, so let's go ahead and get hooked up to the dump trailer. And like I said, that's pretty much fully charged, so that should be good. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this hooked up. Don't worry, it is cold out, so I did let the truck warm up this morning. I just shut it off because I needed to get into the trailer, but it did warm up for a minute. That's one thing I will say too is I think it's very important to warm up any vehicle in the morning. Diesel, gas, whatever it is. Even during the summer, I usually start my truck for 5 minutes before I leave. It's good to let the oil get flowing through it, and especially when you're leaving. I don't mind as much if I'm just leaving with nothing, but like when I'm leaving with a trailer especially, I try to always let it warm up. Oh, I did that perfect. Hit it right on first time. So that's one thing I do want to do this trailer as well, is this cable here. I love those red ones that are like stretchy, so I really want to go ahead and replace that with one of those. Those are so much nicer and they clip right onto the hitch easily. I mean, as you can see, it's quick to hook up, but it's just a lot easier. And I gotta get one of those for this trailer because this one here broke off. So, and this plug needs to be replaced. The last guy that had it, I don't know what he did. He used like wire nuts or whatever, but I bought this trailer used, so yeah. Let's get out of here and we'll get to the job. So, like I said, it's about a 20-minute drive away, so not really too bad. So yeah, we'll get out to the job and we will get started with work. Should only be like about probably maybe a half a day's worth of work, maybe a little more. It's really not a big job either. So guys, here's the job we're working on today. So it's really not a bad job. So we're taking down all this brushy stuff in here. I told you it's better to bring extra stuff than to not. Forgot my weed whacker and brush trimmer, so we're gonna have to come back with that. But that's fine. We'll get everything else. Basically from like this tree right here, going down through, over all the little scrubby stuff. Bigger trees are obviously staying. We're gonna take that one there that's broke off. And there's another one down there that's broke. We'll take that as well. So yeah, let's get started. So guys, we had a bit of a hiccup. So the chain the guy gave me from the parts store for the chainsaw was the wrong size. Everything was right length and everything. It was just the width of the chain, so it wouldn't fit in the bar. So it is what it is. That's fine. I can't go, well, I don't want to go get a new one because it's like 45 minutes from here. So luckily a lot of this stuff's real small, so it should be fine just to use the duller chain. And all my other files were in the other truck that I just sold that I cleaned out, and so they're all at my house, so I don't even have a file. So yeah, we're just gonna have to run a really dull chain, and at least we're just working on the getting some of these smaller trees, so we'll make do with what we got. Got most of that all cleaned up, so that's looking a lot better now. Just this here a little. So we got this all cleaned up. All the stuff we had cut down. I find it a lot easier to just cut some, drag some up, cut some, drag some up, kind of go like that. Otherwise it kind of gets all bunched up in your way. Some of this littler stuff we're going to wait on. We'll cut that with the brush cutter on the weed whacker. It's a lot easier than the chainsaw, but we'll take some of these other little bit bigger ones And then obviously all this little stuff. This one we're cutting. So that is a neighbor's property right there. So I'm not 100% sure what we're gonna do with this. So I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of cut it almost at the property line, scooch it over to the side, just leave it there. I don't want to interfere with other people's property at all, so never want to do that. Rather just be safe than sorry. I don't want to pull it off just in case they wanted the wood for something or something weird like that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and probably cut some more of these little stuff, get it dragged up, then we'll start taking some of these bigger ones. Works a lot better like that. Then I can throw these on top of the trailer and get the brush squished down, then throw some more brush on, throw some other bigger stuff on, because we got about half of this one, that full one way out there, and then some of these bigger, well not bigger, but like 10 to 12 foot tall spruce. And then there's a, on the other side of this tree is one that's broke off. We're going to cut off too, take that one as well. As you can see, I got that tree cleaned up. Yeah, that was a bit of a pain, but nevertheless we got it up the hill. So I ended up just basically what I was doing was I'd grab one of the chunks of log, throw it on my shoulder, and then drag some brush up. And then I dragged the whole top of the tree up, so that's sitting up by the trailer. We got to cut that up there. But I would way rather drag the whole thing up and have to cut it up there than cut it down here and make multiple trips dragging up. It's a lot easier. So it's probably hard to see, but this is a pretty steep slope, so it is pretty difficult. but it already looks way better than when we started. So basically now all we got to do is basically this greenery, these spruce trees or whatever they are. I don't even know what type of pine they are. I think they're spruce, but we just gotta cut all those off, and there's really not many. There's only about maybe 10 of them in total, but looks like there's a lot more. There's a few more out over here on the front side, so, but as you can see, there's only like a couple right there. This one right here. I don't think I'm gonna cut this one down. I was looking at it more. So the lady asked if I could cut just this one stem off the right side that's broke off at the top. But I think if I cut that, what's gonna happen is it's gonna end up rotting a lot quicker down here, and ultimately this will make the whole tree rot. So I think if we just leave it, it'll slowly rot. It's not really blocking anything. You really can't see it that much. And it is still alive. There was leaves on those branches this in this summer when I came here. So I actually do mow this place and the place next door, and I did a project for them. I cut a bunch of brush in between the two places and put a bunch of topsoil down for them. So we did that. But yeah, so we're gonna get back to cutting. I've been trying to save you guys from watching me drag the brush up the hill. It's really not exciting, and you just hear me huffing and puffing. So that stuff's pretty heavy and pretty hard to drag up the slope. I do want to go ahead and say I really appreciate you guys watching these videos, and the people who have been subscribing. I really appreciate and liking the videos, and just everybody overall who's been viewing the videos. My shorts have been getting a lot more views. Not really a ton, but a lot for it's just starting out. So I really appreciate it, guys. It's given me the motivation to keep doing this stuff. I've always liked to basically record stuff. The other thing it's good for is, I mean, not every project, but some projects, when we do stuff, I can record each step, so then if anything came up in the future, I always have the recording of it. I can show the clients or show whoever, be like, everything was done properly, and it's all video recorded. So yeah, let's get back to work, guys. We got all that, most of that pine brush. I mean, there's still like one or two down there. But we're gonna start to cut some more. I did cut a couple off camera because I wanted to bring a full load up at once, so I cut a couple of those ones that were left by the bank here. But yeah, this is starting to look way better. I don't believe they want to do anything further with this. I think it's just mostly for the view. I don't know what we're going to try to do with this thing. Maybe just get it to settle down a little more. I may see if I can drag it out, but I know it's going to be pretty heavy, especially where it's waterlogged and probably stuck in the mud, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to really do much with that. I think they had some topsoil or something I want to move around, so maybe eventually if we come back out here with the tractor to move the topsoil, I can come down around through here and come through here and grab that and drag it out. But really, anyways, it's not really the client's problem, because this is technically like a public walking trail. The lake here, the like HOA for the lake owns like pretty much this walking trail, so this is technically theirs, but they don't care if you cut down like the brush along the edges or whatever. But she did talk to them about that, so I don't know if they're going to do something about that. If not, maybe eventually we'll take care of it. But yeah, so we're going to cut the rest of this. I'm probably not going to really film it. It's kind of the same thing over and over. I don't want this video to get too long or repetitive, but I figured I'd just give you guys a quick update. So I'm going to cut the rest of this stuff down. We'll cut that little pine down, a couple of those stragglers, and then we'll get heading out of here and go get the weed whacker and brush cutter attachment. So I think I mentioned in the last clip, that tree right down there in the water, I'm not gonna be able to get that out. So I think I'm gonna talk to the homeowner. And I think there was a pile of topsoil right over there that she wanted to kind of smooth that anyhow. So we'll bring the tractor back here at some point. I think at that point we'll drag that up out. But yeah, so this is definitely already a huge improvement since when we first got here. Obviously you can actually see the water now. I didn't do any trimming of the branches on the actual trees right now, just because it's kind of hard because the leaves are gone. And she still wants at least a little coverage from like view from the deck. They just want it opened a little more so they can see a little better. But I think what we'll do is wait until spring, midsummer, like beginning of summer next year, when the leaves are back on the trees. This way we can see what all really needs to be trimmed, and what she'd like trimmed, or if she'd just like it the way it is. Because once the leaves come back in, you'll still be pretty hidden when you're up on the deck, which personally I'd still like to have a little privacy from up on my deck, but obviously still be able to see the water. So I think that was kind of the goal. So I think we're pretty good right now. What we're gonna do, I just went down and got the chainsaw. I dragged the last of the brush up. So there's a couple bigger ones that I got to cut up to fit into the trailer that are just too heavy to, or too long to get up into the trailer. We do already have quite a load of brush in the trailer, so we're gonna see if we can squeeze this in. I also need the chainsaw because you can see some of those are sticking straight up in the air, so we got to cut them down so they're a little lower. But I think we can squeeze the rest of this in here, and obviously we'll put the tarp over it and that'll help squish it down. I did already get in there once and kind of pack it down my feet, but yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get some of this cut and load the rest of this in here, and then we'll get it tarped. So guys, we got this all loaded up. It's really not too bad. It's really not that big of a load. I've had bigger loads than this in this trailer, so not too worried about it. That's the one thing that does kind of suck about this trailer in particular, is when you want these fold down sides, you trade in being able to have higher sides. These are only like 18 inches, I believe. But honestly, to me, it's worth it to be able to have the fold down sides for pallets and a lot of jobs I do that are smaller paver type of jobs. A lot of times I'm just shoveling the material out of the trailer, so that makes it 10 times easier just being able to pull the side right down and shovel right out of the trailer. So as you can see, when you get this much height on the top of the brush, you start to lose your width on your tarp. So what I'm going to do is cinch the tarp down nice and tight, and I'm going to take a big strap and we'll go right over to the top of this. I mean, as you can see, you pull the tarp nice and tight and you get it. I mean, that's pretty low. It's not technically, I think I'm supposed to only be level with the sideboards, but this is tarp. There's no big pieces sticking way up in the air and nothing's gonna fall out, so it'll be good. I mean, we gotta go a decent ways, but none of it's highway or nothing, so only like 50-mile-an-hour roads. But I'm still gonna throw a strap probably right over on this one. Yeah, we'll go straight across the trailer just to hold it down. I don't always do this. Typically I just use a tarp, but whereas this job's a little farther from the dumping location, we'll just go ahead and throw a strap on it. Yesterday I was a pretty good dummy and I left the toolbox open after I dumped that stone all the way back home in the rain. Typically I wouldn't really care, but that annoyed me pretty good. We got all my straps and everything soaked, so and luckily all that stuff in there is mostly waterproof, so it weren't a big deal, but still kind of annoying. So we're gonna go in this one here. So once we get this strap down, I don't know if I said it or not, but we're gonna go ahead and run back to the house, drop this trailer, grab the weed whacker and the brush cutter. Then it's about lunchtime, so we'll grab some lunch on the way back. The only reason I'm not gonna just go dump this right now is because the main road to get to where we gotta dump this, apparently there's a pretty bad accident, and the road's like almost shut down, so there's a lot of traffic. So I'm not gonna waste the time and go to try to dump this now. For these tail ends too, I don't know if a lot of you know this, but some guy taught me this a while ago. So you take it, make a loop about that big, you roll it right up. I know other people do it different ways, but this is my favorite way. There's really no chance this is going to come out. So then you take this piece of the strap, you go through the middle. I'm doing this pretty tight right here so it doesn't dangle too low. And basically you just go through like that, and you pull it tight, and that's not going to go anywhere. So then you just shove it in between there, or if I leave it a little longer, sometimes I'll tuck it in there, but that's not going to go anywhere. Brush is all good, nothing sticking out the sides of the trailer. That's one other thing you got to watch for when you do brushes. You really can't have it sticking out the sides of the trailer too much. So there's a little piece right here. We'll just tuck this in under the tarp. And yeah, so I do want to dump this today, hopefully, if I have enough time, because like I said in the previous video, we're going to be going up and helping those guys up in that job up north from me this tomorrow and Thursday. So, but yeah, so let's get out of here. We'll go and get the weed whacker and brush cutter attachment. Forget how high this camera's on my head, it knocks off stuff, but yeah, so we'll run and go get the brush cutter. Oh, I forgot the pole saw. So guys, we're just getting back here. I went ahead and loaded the pole saw in the truck already, so that's all set. And stopped and grabbed lunch after we dropped the trailer off. So now we're just gonna start to weed whack down these little sapling things. So I did bring the brush cutter. I don't really think I'm gonna need it really, besides maybe for around a couple of these trees and stumps, but most of these little saplings the weed whack will take care of. So alright, well, I'm gonna put on a time lapse and you guys can watch me weed whack. Hopefully I don't slip and fall down the hill. So here we go. Well, got most of it done. Just ran out of string though, which is fine because I can just grab the brush cutter and cut the rest of the little stuff, but that works really well to knock down all those little saplings. So I wasn't doing a great job. I mean, this isn't supposed to be like a lawn. Just to kind of kill them off and chop them off like that, then by springtime they'll end up getting killed off, and then probably throughout next year when we're here mowing every once in a while, we'll probably hit this just to knock the saplings down. Be the best thing for it. So that weed whacker that I was just using, that's just a weed whacker. This one here has the interchangeable head. So I bought this one like 2 years ago when I first started my business, because it was nice to have all the interchangeable heads, and then I also have the weed whacker head. I have like almost every attachment you can get for this. That's why I don't need this pole saw, and I'm just trying to sell is because I have the pole saw attachment for this, and I'd much rather use this one because you can get as long as you want, and you can shrink it back down to be like, just if I had to, I could put this in the cab of my truck, the whole pole saw and everything, because it shrinks down to this big right here, and then all the poles come off. So then you can make it as long as you want, as short as you want. It's easy. I prefer that one over this one because, as you can see, can't even fit this in the back of a regular pickup without it sticking way out, which is kind of annoying. I mean, that'll be fine the way it is, but to have to strap it down every time, I'd much rather just keep and use my one that I have now. But yeah, we're gonna get the rest of this little bit of brush cut, then get out of here. The client's at work, so they're gonna check it out when they get back, and then we'll have to get paid then, which is great. But yeah, we'll start this thing up, and this one's a pain sometimes to start. The other one usually starts pretty good, but yeah, there ain't much to do. Just a couple little stragglers around here and there that we'll just chop down, and then we'll get out of here. Alright, so we're gonna call this good enough for this job. Definitely did what we wanted. Got their view open back up. This tree, I don't know. Technically it's on the neighbor's property, so I just cut it off at the property line about. So I don't know what they're gonna want to do with that, but yeah, this is looking way better than when we started. Not supposed to be perfect, just kind of chop everything down quick and get everything looking a lot better. There's probably a little more weed whacking I could do over there, but I'll hit that on the fall cleanup because I'm out of weed whacker string. So yeah, this is looking great, so let's get out of here. So guys, we're just heading out of here. So we're gonna head back now. I don't know. Sorry, I think I just bumped you guys there, but I don't know what we're gonna do for the rest of the day. We might end up bringing that load of brush over to dump it. I think that's what I'm gonna do. It's only about 12:30 now, so by the time I go back and get the brush, it's gonna be about probably 1 o'clock, and then we'll go dump it. Take probably about an hour and a half to go dump it. Yeah, so we'll do that for the rest of the day today, and then that'll probably be about it. So. So guys, we're just getting here to dump. So this place here is one of the, well, is the biggest like landscape supply company around my area. They actually take this brush for free, so it's a little bit farther than some of the places, but it's worth it not having to pay, because usually it's like $100 a load or something on this trailer, so definitely works out a lot better. Get rid of it for free, so. Yeah, right there in front of me, they shred it up and use it for like natural mulch ground cover, so. I just noticed this, otherwise I probably would have gotten in here. That would not have been good. I guess I could have got a new one, but those straps are like 20 bucks now, so definitely don't want to forget it. Alright, let's see if I hit you guys off the roof again. Keep forgetting about it and hit my head off the roof. Oh, I just did it again. This should be good. I love this about this dump trailer, it's got gravity feed down, which helps a lot when it comes to saving battery life, basically. But one left in here. Enjoyed the video today, and please like and subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one.